Good evening. That was so horrific. I couldn't even take a picture. Good evening and welcome everyone. to Kleiner's Kravenarium, and we are the Bardic College, and welcome back. And we are about to start Chapter 3, which I haven't given a name to, so don't worry about it. We'll figure that out as we go along. But this is Chapter 3, Part 1.
Chapter 3, The Unknown.
Chapter 3, the I don't have a catchy name yet.
Title yet to be revealed.
Yeah, TBD. We are here with the exception of Yesenia, who is in an incredibly long coma. So right now, Yesenia is being fed slowly with sugar water just to keep her body mass going. The puppets keep waving her. They're moving her around. They're doing kind of things for her, so just so she doesn't go totally out. But we're hoping to have her back real soon. We miss her and send all of our love to Betty. Well, players, how's everybody doing tonight? Doing well?
Yeah,
It's great.
Sticking it out.
One of the questions that came up in our chat pre-game, because we do some of that, is Brenna was asking who will beat Adelaide up first. What will happen to Adelaide?
Yeah.
Right. Will it be one of the cast members again to strike her first?
There you
Cyrus,
go.
it's your turn.
Chapter 3, The Beating of Adelaide. There you go.
Right. The savaging.
Spare her. Spare her.
Savaging.
Spare her.
Dear child, hold still. I cannot hit you with the whip.
I cannot get that demon from yourself if you do not stay still. But yes, we are here.
Maybe
and
one of us should just hit her to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Right, just do a level of damage and then just leave her that way for the rest of the
game.
for the rest of the chapter. Every morning, a brisk slap just to keep that bruise fresh.
Justification for abuse. Let's just do this. Let's just get past it.
She's been hit already. Like, no, I jest.
You know you want it. Come on,
No.
let's just do it.
So
the kind Christian woman.
What happened after, of course, as we left the last chapter, they stayed in Scotland for a little while, made a little bit of money, had a bunch of expenses, and Max began walking, and he brought them to a shipyard. And up the shipyard, it took them a while to figure out exactly. They had to keep walking him up and down the docks, trying to figure out what goddamn ship they wanted him on. And Max finally was able to let them know it was this particular steamer that was heading what they thought was to the Shetland Islands and somehow beyond. The beyond is true. Max did not want to get off at the Shetland Islands. They refueled there, coaled up, and started making their way on their once every about 3-week journey to the Faroe Islands, which is way out. So that is where we are picking up this particular storyline at the Faroe Islands. So we're not going to do the crossing. Normally in Cairo, everybody would hold their breath and be worried because things on boats just went bad. Every time we got on the water, it was just an ass whooping. People disappeared for sessions. People got beat up, dragged into submarines. It was a lot when we're on the water. So we don't want to repeat that. So we're just going to say you're in a submarine. No, we're going to drop that. But we are in the Faroe Islands. It's 1865, and it's early June when you arrive. When the Faroe Islands themselves, at this point, probably only have a total combined population of about, let's say, about 110,000 people total. It's a bunch of small fishing villages with great expanse of space, but for islands, meaning in between. So it's not like a lot of, you're either in the town or there's nothing. And then it's just wild landscape, these massive waterfalls and rocky outcroppings and things of that nature. And not a lot of fertile ground where the ground is usable. The town is, and normally that's near a water source. There are a few rivers for fresh water and stuff on the Faroe Islands. They're pretty big size islands for what they are. So you're basically being taken by Max to one of the northernmost fishing colonies, towns in the Faroe Islands called Vestmanna. And the only reason you know that is because you've stopped at 2 other towns along this road on the major island in the Faroe Islands. And he hasn't stopped. And there's just a road sign that says Vestmanna, like 11, miles or kilometers, probably 28 kilometers or whatever it is. So, and that's where Max is walking. So what you're seeing, you doubt that it's one residence. It must be something going on in Vestmanna. What do they speak? They speak a version of Faroese, but it is really Norwegian, I guess, without anybody from the Faroe Islands being offended. It's Norwegian and a dialect that's a little bit different, but genetically they're descended from the Vikings and the Norse. because those were the people that founded it.
Mhm.
Probably has some Icelandic in there, right?
It probably has some Icelandic, yeah, because it was as they came across, they claimed it was Greenland, Faroe. They think they bounced to Faroe, then they bounced back to the North Atlantic, to the North America. So yeah, there's a bunch of places they probably hit. How can we talk about the reception when you got off the boat? There was none, and as a matter of fact, you've never been in a place that has felt like this island and these inhabitants. They're not used to people from the outside. Very few people come to the Faroe Islands to vacation or just to stop by. You're here for a purpose. You're either from here or you're from somewhere else. And if you're from somewhere else, the greeting can be rather cold. It is not making Cyrus feel good about the chances to put a lot of money and coin in his pocket, because these towns aren't big to begin with. Vestmanna is probably the 4th largest town, and maybe it's got 9,000 people, 8,000 people. The rest of the towns are, once you get past this one, they start going down to 1,000, 2,000 tops. They're villages. They're just, overgrown villages. They're not really. It's a very different type of living. This is the Orkneys 40 years before now, turn of the century. So that's what I want you to just get that vision. And the only reason I'm giving that much description is so that you really get a sense of the wilderness and the isolation out here. You're not going to find a lot of support. There's not going to be a lot of libraries. This is going to require you to somehow make friends with these people as things unravel. And it's going to require a lot of patience and working through some of that. All right. So Max is on the road, single lane, horse cart. That's all it is. Nothing major. It's lined by it's lined on one side by a cliff that you kind of walk along. Not, it's just a drop, not the cliff, right? It's a drop on that side. And then this side's just an open field that's kind of like rocky. It has a little bit of grass, but for the most part, it's windblown. And you've got about 10 more kilometers to go. Yesenia is still sleeping. The puppets look after her at night and stuff, and they do their thing. So, but if anybody has anything they want to talk about before we get there, discuss in general about character background stuff or things they need to talk about from the last adventure, fine. If not, I'm going to jump right into what happens when you arrive in town.
Nothing serious, but for color, Mercy spent the entire boat ride over from we were in Edinburgh to the Shetland Islands, and then from the Shetlands to the Faroe Islands. She spent the entire ride, including sleeping, in a big old life vest.
Fair enough. A blind girl makes sense.
She's terrified of water and wasn't happy at all. She was very ornery the entire crossing, and spent Mercy, you're going to be okay. We're in port. You can take it off. No.
Right.
Until she hit terra firma, that vest did not come off.
All right.
I want you to picture that in your mind's eye.
And Cyrus, why don't you tell our listeners what happened? You basically came out of a dream state, which wasn't even was real, right? It was induced. It was a hallucination. But you came out of that dream state and you made a major decision for the circus. And what was that decision?
That is correct, Keeper. What I decided for the best of the community is that we would be done with the clowns now and forever. That if I were to see another clown in my sight, I would whip it until it was bled dry. I released all the clowns, and I have firm intentions to pick up an equal quantity of little people to dress as fools and move about the main areas of the circus and selling small items and trinkets and teasing and having fun with the children's. Well, yes, of course. No. Well, I thought it might be fun, the small fool. And on my horizon, I would like to, if possible on spec, find a troupe of tumblers that we might have as another headlining act for the circus to bring in additional revenue.
That might be, we can look at the Shetland tumblers, but they're pretty much like the size of caber tossers. These are not small men and women. They're just really, they're big, thick people. So the tumbling is that they kind of bump into each other and fall. It's not really which I think you're looking for. But
as your pants have torn again.
Yeah. The Shetland Islands probably not good for that. Or for contortionists. Not really a Shetland thing, I would think. But when you get back to mainland Europe, which hopefully won't be too long, you'll be able to find, I'm sure, an act of, or like something like that you could put in the newspapers and start trying to recruit something extra.
It was probably falsight that we rid ourselves of the clowns, since we don't have the money to pay them now. And Max has made sure that we will not make a dime on these barren, godforsaken islands.
Right. You probably can make a little bit of money selling manure, Max's, but I don't know what they do a lot of fishing, so maybe that's not even a good thing. Yeah.
I will let Adelaide feed him. Perhaps if she fed him readily, he would produce more manure, and we could make some money off of it.
We can make some money. Off that. All right. You come into the. This winding road comes up upon the top of a hill, a promontory, and they're down below, just sitting right along the coast, in a low part of the island where the ocean kind of meets up with it again because it peaks and valleys, is Vestmanna, and it's just absolutely a picturesque little town. It's just fascinating. It's fabulous. If you like that, Norwegian look of small cottages and smoke coming out of the chimneys and the whole bit, this is one of the most picturesque places you've seen. It's magnificent to look at, but you've met no one on this road, right? This is kind of what it is. You have earned a little bit of money though. The captain of the ship did have some supplies, oil for lamps and things, some stuff that they don't normally hunt here themselves. They can get some oil from a couple of the animals that they get, but for the most part, wool. There's some items that are brought up every so many weeks. So he gave you a few dollars or pounds to put that in your carts and bring them up. So you kind of are acting in a way as a delivery service for this trip, since Max is going that way anyway. You drop things off along the different towns, and you still have some stuff left that's scheduled for Vestmanna. And since you realize Max is heading that way, you held on to it and you're bringing it in. There is a small post office. You pass that as you first get in towards the center of town. There are what appear to be pubs or some sort of tavern. Nothing has a name. There's no signboard. There's no numbers on houses. Like, this is just, everybody knows everybody. If you live in this part of town, I put a number on it. The postman knows me. They know me over here. This person knows me over there. It's very, very rustic. It's just the way it is. So you're kind of walking down the street, and a lot of the buildings begin to look alike. But the only reason you can tell some are pubs are the windows are, the curtains are open back, and you see people in there in the afternoon having gathered around what appears to be a long table or bar. So you're getting the sense of things as you're looking and, peeking in here and there, but nothing to script when you first come into town. It feels very, very like, wow, they don't need to put signs up because everybody knows where the pub is. Nobody has to ask questions, or visitors don't even look for it.
Wow.
Yeah. That kind of remote. So, but you can make your way to the post office, which is also the person that owns the general store, and you drop off the stuff, and it's an older woman, and, you come up upon her and bring the stuff in. Whoever's carrying it, that's fine. And she's behind, and she calls out in Faroese. And then she realizes that you're out from out of town. English?
Yes, English. Of a kind.
English. You, what do you have? What you need? Lost? Yes?
I speak Norwegian. Can I try that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to try Norwegian.
Yes.
God damn. Immediately that takes a lot of tone out of her voice, Steinar.
Oh, good.
She kind of looks at you and looks you up and down and says, "You speak the old tongue. What are you doing here?"
I speak my tongue. We're travelers. We're a circus. We boarded the wrong boat.
And we walked all the way up here.
So we're here visiting, attempting to find a place to set the circus and perhaps perform for the people of the islands.
You here till the next boat then?
Likely, yes, ma'am.
3 weeks.
I'm sorry, 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. I'm going to make sure I translated that correctly. I'm sure there's some differences.
Yeah, no,
but I'll translate that.
Yeah.
Cyrus looks at Steiner a little concerned. 3 weeks?
3 weeks. 3 weeks.
In this shithole?
I don't want to make it look too much like that, but I mean,
I think you're picking it up by the small thug tear that's coming down Cyrus's face as he thinks about what am I doing with all these people for 3 weeks.
At least they can't run off. There's nowhere for them to go.
It's true.
True. She says, circus, perform, juggle, yes?
Some of it, yes, ma'am. Yes. I'll describe my show, sharpshooter, right? No, we don't have clowns anymore, so acrobats. I'll try to find some common ground there.
I don't know.
A mayor.
Mayor.
What would it be? What am I looking for?
The big cheese.
Oh, they have a different name for mayor. Could be an elder, steward, maybe.
Burgermeister, elder, steward. Yep.
Well, Burgermeister. Burgermeister's German, isn't it?
But there's a lot of crossover with Norway.
Sure.
But she understands the term at least. She gets it.
Okay.
She says, elder. Yes.
All right.
We have elder.
Okay.
Sven. I can get him. Probably easier than send you.
Please. Yes.
Please, he says. Okay. Sure. Mumbles. Kind of like, Jesus, okay, you offered.
Yeah. Right.
It's just that curmudgeon kind of like, not everyone, they're just not used to people having, like, this makes no sense to her because she's like frazzled that there'd be people here. So she goes out, ring, the doorbell rings. She leaves you. All her stuff's here. There's nobody watching you. She doesn't ever think about theft because everybody knows each other again. But it takes about 10 minutes for her to come back. She does have some things, not a lot of like fruits. If there's fruit, it's sort of a dried. It's very it's like things that are more hardy. Like you may get apples, but very few, and they're very expensive. Most of the stuff is going to be
berries,
high
maybe?
protein. Yeah, high protein things that they can get here, like a lot of like dried fish.
Yeah, in Scandinavia they have they're called sky berries.
Yeah,
it's like an little orange berry.
Yep,
probably pretty high on the dairy as well.
Probably very high in dairy, both goat and cow. They do it both. Whatever you like your cheese, we make it. Yeah, we're good.
Yep.
Cool. So we can do a nice charcuterie tonight.
Yeah, with one slice of regular beef and a lot of seafood. You can do it more like an open plate sushi thing.
Oh, I imagine it's primarily seafood, and they're using the cows for milk, probably. Yeah.
Yep. So after about 10, 11 minutes, finally the door opens, and she comes walking back in, and I'm about to
sneeze.
I'm about to create dead air for about 20 seconds. So sorry about that.
Okay.
I thought it was better than me sneezing into my mic. So this man comes in she's probably in her late 40s. He's right around the same age, but a good sized dude, built about 5'7", 5'8", not the tallest, but definitely strong. Has that look of like a fisherman, someone who's been on the water a lot in his life, just has that look to him, that appearance. Wears the skull cap even in June because it is a little bit cooler here. And he walks in, he says, I'm Sven. Who speaks Norwegian? He says, I'm Sven.
I'll introduce ourselves. Steinar, these are my associates, Cyrus, Adelaide, Mercy.
You bring your own women. This is good to travel with. Yes.
We're a circus. We work together.
And you've been marooned, lost here.
Yes, marooned. Yes, marooned. We took the wrong boat.
The wrong boat. Huh. Okay.
The wrong boat.
But you got off.
we had to pay for the trip back.
You have no money.
I didn't say that.
What do you need? What do you offer?
We are, and I'll look to Cyrus to help me out here, but kind of turn around awkwardly, and we run a circus, so we would want maybe permission to perform.
Tell the man we are like a troupe of entertainers, of performers.
Yes.
Oh, performer. You tricks.
Yes.
I see. Yes. You should go.
Kind of look at her like,
my God, we've landed at my parents' house.
That was
Thanks
great.
for coming. You should go.
Are you lost?
He says,
nothing for you here.
Hardworking people. Very little money for you to steal or take. Not very good.
We don't steal. We don't steal. We perform.
I say steal.
Entertainment.
I mean pocket pick. Is that how you say pocket pick?
Stana, perhaps since we have to figure out why we are here, perhaps maybe you can ask the man, tell him that we will trade. I do not suspect that they have the money to fill our coffers, but perhaps we can trade accommodations for entertainment while we figure out why Max has trapped us here.
Okay. All right. So I'll present that. We simply some place to stay where we can put our camp up and be assured that people won't feel that that's bad.
No charge. We just need accommodation.
We will entertain the children, the people in the evenings.
You don't go near our children.
Okay.
Don't go near our children.
Okay.
This is not you're out. You do not come here and touch our children or come near our children.
No one wants to touch the kids.
Will there be a chance to touch a child?
You travel with grown men. You're a little thing.
What? Did I understand him?
You're a little thing. You're 14. You're traveling with grown men.
I'm translating the best I can. So
Okay.
so
she looks like a kid, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't touch do not touch our children.
Okay. All right. We will not touch the children.
Dad.
We can.
That's a lie.
We will entertain for lodging until we can get the boat back. 3 weeks.
He starts speaking very rapidly in Faroese.
Mm-hmm.
You pick up words. Once he goes into that dialect, it becomes a lot of. It just starts to change. It's like Portuguese, Spanish. It's like any of Portuguese, Spanish, different language. So it's Faroese. I mean, they claim it's different, but they can communicate. So you're picking up that he is upset that it's not a good time. You definitely get that feeling that the time is wrong for you to be here, and that she needs to help him explain to you that you need to go. And she's just like, what do I say? And he's like, I don't care, but you need to tell them they need to go. And he just he's gesticulating, which is not very common among the Northern Atlantic people. Like, they tend not to be that demonstrative.
Very stoic.
Yeah. And he doesn't appear stoic at all. Like, he seems frantically like they've got to go.
Okay.
How many people are in the troop without the clowns? About 40, right? Cyrus, 40, 50?
Yeah, with the roustabouts and everything. I mean, that's a pretty large crew of people building it and tearing it down. Yeah,
and it's a pretty
taking care of the animals, because I'm sure that we have animals too.
Yes, some, yeah. So that asking him for accommodations for 50, 60 people.
It would be like a field. That's what we need. We need.
So
like
you're not saying you want a building. You just want a place to.
No. Yeah. No, that's what I'm thinking. I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood. I'm thinking like a field.
Yeah, I know you said, but then he said accommodation. So I'm thinking you wanted we'll entertain for lodging.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe that was my fault. I was thinking, we're kind of like gypsies that way. Like, we have our homes with us, so we just need a place to sort of set up. And in exchange for that, for letting us stay until the next boat comes, we will entertain them. If they don't want us to entertain them, that's fine too. We can figure out this whole thing on our own.
There's a question of eating. that we need to worry about. It's one thing to find a field and to pitch up next to a mountain, but there's another situation of just food, right? We have to live off where we are. So it would be a field, and of course we'll
presumably we can purchase some fish at the market down at the shoreline. I would imagine there's got to be a fresh market, or some milk and some other. I mean, I don't think they're going to say no to corn.
We have fishing fleet, men who go out, trade their fish to people with milk. They give milk. People with milk need shoes fixed. They give milk to man with shoes. He fix. Is market. No. We have people that do their jobs, work hard, and they trade. You have things to trade?
We have skills. We can make people happy. We can perform.
Stana, you could, if they have vermin that they need to get rid of, you could kill the vermin, could you not? I mean, you are a sharpshooter.
I could.
That is one option. I feel that Mercy would not have a skill here because of the language barrier. I apologize, dear. Adelaide, right. I do not know, Adelaide, what special talents you have beyond swallowing things, which might frighten these poor people.
The woman looks up for a second, because remember, she said English. She can speak English. She's
It's like, oh, I've done lots of odd jobs before. I could clean. I can help with the cattle. I can do any sort of work if they really need to.
My poor. So for the people that are doing this on the podcast, Mercy Clark's eyes went wide when they said physical labor. Like that wasn't. Mercy was like, not the 14-year-old though, right? Like, what's your child labor laws here in Feroce?
I'm genuinely wondering, like, what could I offer these people?
Language lessons.
I could do a Bible study.
God protect us.
What?
Okay.
No, that was sometimes when I say this, it's partly for comedy.
Okay. So
I don't know what the religion is here.
Happy to do a language lesson. Happy to
anything like that. So
Puritan story time.
He says, like, I will speak to the other two elders of our village, and I will come with me. Come. I show you a place you can leave there for now, and I will be back to you before the sun sets. I will come to you.
Thank you. What was her name again?
Greta and Sven.
Got it.
There's going to be a lot more of the names because I got to tell you, some of these names are a blessing. As we get into it, you walk back out. Did you leave most of the people outside of town and then just walked yourselves in? It's not a long walk. Or did you bring Max in? What are you doing? How did you do that?
No, I would think that we would walk down in. I don't know that they're ready for Max.
Right. Okay.
Or the dead man nailed to the top. I think that might be a bit extravagant.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna. Yeah. So he walks out and he sees all your things, and you kind of had him blocked. You had Max off in the back. Sorry, Max. You're a little bit of a spook. You have him off in the back. The field's there. It's open. He's like, stay here. Here. I will speak to the other two. We come see you this evening before sun. And I will also ask about how to bring food for you. And if anyone has repairs or painting or jobs to do, house paints or repairs that they would be willing to trade for you, so that you can feed all of these people, lost people.
Thank you.
I will be back. I'm Sven. I'll be back. And he starts walking away.
Do they have horses?
Yeah, they have a couple of plow horses and stuff. But again, there's not a lot of great field.
No, the reason I ask is because having been a horse soldier, and Steiner was a horse soldier, we would have known how to take care of our horses, which would have included like farrier work, like changing shoes.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Somebody probably has that.
I could do that. Well,
basic blacksmithing, I'm sure you probably be able to pick up where you can at least shoe a horse. Sure.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. So it's this was good because really, the circus isn't going to be the biggest draw for people that don't deal a lot with money. I mean, there are some.
No.
No. But trading for these kind of things is a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they come back, and it's 2 men and a woman, and Sven walks up and says, Steinar, he's in Feroci, he's the one that speaks. The others, not so smart. He says, because he's just right. Because
they don't speak. They don't speak. They just don't speak the language.
Right. To him, that's just dumb. He says, 2 days. You can stay here 2 days. Then you should go south. You should head back. But 2 days. Tomorrow morning, we will talk to people tonight in town and ask if they have some small work to do to give you enough food for 2 days. We will work something out for you. We do not want to see you starve, but 2 days. Okay?
We'll work honestly for the food. Hey, what's going on in 2 days?
You need to go. And they start to turn and walk away. You need to be gone. 2 days.
Why?
Doesn't answer you.
Yeah.
I have a sneaky suspicion the 2 days has something to do with Max.
I grab Steinar's sleeve and I quickly go, ask the postmistress if she has...
Wait a minute.
What?
Did you raise your hand to hit her like that? Was that what that was? I thought I saw Chris's hand come up. I grabbed his...
No.
He was like,
No.
Because I know how much Mercy's like one of the freaky people. And he's like, stop that. Don't touch me. Okay.
Wait for me, hideous blind child.
I grab Steinar's sleeve and I go, ask the postmistress if she has a Feroci language book, like a primer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll catch up with Greta and I'll ask, do we have some literature on Faroese? I think is how it's Feroci.
Faroese.
Faroese.
Faroese. The young lady is very smart. She can have someone read to her and pick up the language quickly. Learn the language. Teach.
I have
children.
something. Yes, I have something.
Right.
Yes.
A grammar book.
No, but I have something that has both.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
Aha.
She walks it back out to you.
No.
No.
It's like the default for everything. No.
Well, that's going to be for a while. She does come back out as everyone's pitching tents and getting set up, and the fires are starting to go. Wood is also not plentiful because they've cut a lot of it down.
Peat or dung fires too.
Right, dung and peat fires are pretty much the way to go. Lord's like, oh, and I so wanted to be here one day.
What a lovely smell.
You get used to it after about 3 or 4 days. Once your nostril hairs are all burned out, it goes down pretty smooth. It's like a single malt. She comes back out as the sun is down, and she's her shop's closed, the post office is closed, where she gets whatever they get and distributes it. And she walks up, and she walks right up to Mercy, and she sees her, and Mercy, remember, you see shadows, so she's approaching. The others kind of watch it, and she just walks up and she says in English, legend, stories in both. They match. Chapter. You understand?
2 languages.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. This is a beautiful gift. Cyrus, pay her.
It's no money.
Oh. Really?
She starts to walk away.
Oh. Thank you, Greta. Cyrus, how do I thank this woman? No, sorry, Steinar, how do I thank her?
You thank her. She hears you.
Thank her?
Yeah, I thank her in Faroese.
Yeah. So
we have
these are
we have Basin book.
These stories, as you start going through them, Mercy and whoever's, let's say Adelaide's reading to you while Cyrus is getting the circus ready. Mm-hmm. The two of you, these are barbarous, horrifying tales. These are legends you've never heard before about the Azir and Middelheim and Jotunheim, and just absolutely violent, terrible stories of, kinslaying, and they all seem to have the motto of xenophobia. Don't trust anyone that's not of blood. And if they are of blood, keep one eye open, keep one eye on them, keep one hand behind your back with a weapon. It's just this constant message of we're alone. Life is brutal. Don't trust people. The gods come in wicked ways. They trick us. They play with us. They don't, they're not, they talk with a forked tongue. They speak at both sides of their face. It's all of this just really cautionary tale stuff. But in the middle of it is just bloodletting.
Delightful.
Yeah, that sets the tone. Welcome to Faroe Islands.
Very fire and brimstone. I like it.
Mercy's like, I can get behind this.
This is some fascinating stuff.
Can't help but overhear a little bit of this. What time of June are we in?
Oh.
At night it's down in the 50s or low 40s.
No.
During the day it gets about 65.
Specifically.
Today was pretty clear.
Date is what I'm
saying. Date. June 9th.
All right. Still a little ways off. We're not close to the solstice is what I'm asking. No. Okay.
Oh, good. What is in 2 days, lunarly?
New moon. So no moon. Yeah. New is the one when it's not there, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It'd be quite dark out in the countryside with no trees and barren landscape and just the sound of the ocean and not being.
Well, you'll be able to see their lights from the village because you're only about a mile outside of town.
And point of order, we're really far north, so this time in June, you're not going to get a lot of darkness. It's going to stay dark very short period of time, and then you're going to see like sun on the horizon for hours.
It's always going to be like dim lit.
Yeah.
By June. That's right. Yep. Didn't know that about frickin' Ireland. Learned that the hard way.
Oh, that was insane. We came out of a pub at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It was later than that, 11:30 at night.
10:30, 11 o'clock,
We're just driving home,
no headlights,
and the sun's just going down, and we're like, "What?"
And it was up by 4.
Yep,
it was down for like 5 hours. Yeah,
it's amazing. Love it.
I had no idea.
In Ireland, neither did we.
Crazy. And you know what? And they're so used to it that like the Airbnbs, they won't have blackout curtains. So for the Americans, who it's like, I need darkness to sleep. Like I pulled a bed into a closet. I'm like,
because they're just used to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the situation, a lot of people, a lot of the Cyrus, you're already getting grumbling. Like, what are we doing here? How is this going to help us? Why are we here? Like, they kind of understand that sometimes the circus goes to odd places, and people that have been in the circus a couple years realize that, hey man, we do a lot of helping. Like, we always show up when shit's bad. We're like, what's her name? Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote. Well, every time we show up, people are dying, something's going wrong. But we do a lot of good overall, and we always seem to leave the place better than we found it. Like, that's a good thing. But why here? Why here, Cyrus? Like, we're not going to make anything. These people don't even want us here.
I know it seems dire, and I do apologize. I do believe these people need our help desperately, and there are times when the money must take a back seat. I will take care of you. Fear not. I will make sure that we are all fed and we are all taken care of. We are a family, except for the clowns. And
ever since he took over, the circus has been in bad shape. I know it's just. Oh, what did you say? I'm sorry, Cyrus.
It takes a couple years for the next administration to right the ship.
Remember, I carry a whip. I do not need that sort of insolence.
The beatings will continue till morale increases.
Morale improves. 100%. The rest of that night, it does start to drop. If the wind picks up, it doesn't get, like I said, it gets probably around 11:30 midnight. The sun goes down, stays only down until 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that does pick up is the wind. You get that Atlantic just whistling, just ripping through the tents, ripping through the towns. Mm-hmm. it's not uncommon for people to wear, mufflers and scarves, like even in the summertime, just to keep themselves at night, just kind of keep warm, because it's just a lot of breeze. But nothing crazy, nothing. Does anybody leaving camp? Is anybody moving around? Does anybody want to explore at night? I'm not saying you should. I don't want to cut anybody off if they had ideas like, I want to go down and raid a shop. I mean, I don't know. Is anybody?
I would like to. I want to go wandering off the countryside.
Same, honestly. That was kind of my vibe.
See, this is why I asked Steiner, because I played with these people long enough to know that someone's going to wander.
Shit. No shit.
Yeah, Adelaide might actually send Oscar out, because he did well to find stuff before, so maybe he can find something weird.
Okay.
Or just I don't know, he can sign language me something.
Yeah.
Maybe if Mercy's into it, maybe we can take Max and sort of wander with Max around the countryside and see if kind of a reconnoiter, not towards town, but like away from town.
All right.
Is Max stable? He pulls a cart. I could sit on him, or Cyrus and I could sit on him. It's like, oh, we're just out for like a ride. Don't mind us, and just.
I mean, he's like 110.
Yeah, he's got a really bowed back and everything. But
I would say we would walk
him probably. He's an old soul. However,
sure. I just meant
Max
for like a cover story. I'm walking my blind child and my dead horse.
And my dying horse. My cadaverous steed and my
cadaverous.
Be like
that's the name of my band, actually.
Cadaverous steed.
Yes.
At the end of every sentence now I have to say, and my dying horse.
Right. The one thing Max does not willingly do, almost to the point, it depends on how hard you pull or push, he doesn't want to go any further away from town than you are now. So if you're going in a circle around it, if you're staying about a mile away, he's good. You start pulling him down the road and he just locks his legs and does that Max thing where I don't want to. So Max is definitely like, what's about to go down is here. Like, we need to be here. Now,
what I will ask for, I was hoping for a reconnoiter through the countryside.
Well, you can't. You within a mile of town, you're good. Like, you can check out what's around, slightly south, because this sits sort of on the larger of the Faroe Islands. This sits in the upper northwest corner. Mm-hmm. So you can get around it. There's some beach. There's a rocky outcropping. The real beach is where the community is, so they can set off their vessels and catch seals and fish and stuff. All right. So what we need from the people doing the reconnoiter and from Oscar, we need an observation check, please.
Observation. Do you want me to take a negative on that?
Nope.
Oh. Okay. In that case, 6.
I got 1 success.
Okay.
Oh, 1 second.
1.
1 success.
Mm-hmm. It's. I just used observation. It's more of a sound. If you had 1 success and you were out on a walk, or Oscar was out on a walk, there's definitely, something out there. A wolf. Or wolves. It's probably wolves at this point. They're just, you just hear howls, and they don't sound like domestic dogs. It just sounds like it's on the far, like away from town, up in the rocky, in the outcrops and the hills. You just hear kind of the sound of like wild dogs or a wolf.
That reminds me. Mm-hmm. Did Adelaide ever see that black dog again?
No one has.
No one has but her, and she did not investigate. Okay.
Yeah, well, the only other persons that people have seen it were in chapter 1, and that would have been the whole team kind of got a vibe of it.
Oh,
but
okay.
I can guarantee you this is not. Yeah, this is not old Shuck. This is no. It sounds like a normal size wolf. Nothing massive. Yeah, just bigger maybe, but not like 10 feet at the shoulder and demonic. No, nothing like that. It just sounds like wolves answering each other. All right. You come back and you give Steiner that information. So Steiner, I'm sure it's more of a gun in hand type thing at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably for that point on. Yeah. So I figured
we could do that.
Yeah. 100%. Sun goes down, like we said, sun comes up real early. But they don't come back with the stuff for food till about 7 a.m. And they bring you dried fish. They bring you a couple loaves of, like 10 loaves of bread. And then they start telling you things that they need done. In town, there's a chimney that needs repairing, so they take a few people that say they'll do that.
Sure.
A couple of the roustabouts, they need one of the fishing boats. If anybody has woodworking skill, they have a hole in one of their boats. They can really get that repaired while the men go out.
Really want to keep track of who's going where. I want like full attendance in case something happens.
Got it.
I want Steinar.
We should make a log.
After hearing the wolves, it has me curious as to are the wolves somehow playing into the reason we need to leave? So I want to see if Steinar can offer his services, say that we heard wolves in the distance. Do they have a problem with wolves? He might be able to hunt them down for them.
Ooh.
Steinar, you okay with going out hunting wolves?
Yeah.
Well, no, but the idea being their answer, if they were like, no, or you don't want to do that, or
not our lovely wolves.
No, I wasn't thinking lovely wolves. I was thinking the wolves that aren't wolves, kind of thing.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
So as soon as I see Greta, then I'm gonna approach her. Let's do that.
Wolves. Yes,
we have crack shot. I'm a good shot. So I'm a really good shot. So be more than happy to provide that service. I have plenty of extra ammunition.
I will tell Sven, and yes, I think yes, but give me some minutes to find. He's making sure your people are where they need to be. Give me a few minutes. I say yes. I think this is a good idea.
Okay.
So the answer to your query of are they protective of them? No, they won't. Wolves are bad.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So we had how many? One person that went to work on a boat, or how many people?
No, probably like these are pretty good size. They're like
let's say five.
Yeah, 3 or 4 go to the boat. A couple to the chimney. Several people needed houses painted or front doors mended. It's all that busy handiwork that you normally try to get done so ready for the winter, but right now it's only June, so they're busy trying to get their food supply, their stores back up, right? They're salting fish, they're prepping things, they're eating some for the day, and then they're putting some away. They're collecting honey from the beekeeper that's out there. They're trying to do the things to survive as a winter community. And if you can alleviate the busy bullshit work, then to them that's a huge boon, right? That makes it worth giving you food. Because they can be more productive. So you got the dairy farmer out there. He's like, I don't have to worry about my, that split door that's not working right. That's off the hinge. You can fix that. Okay, yeah, good. Yep. Everybody finds stuff to basically at least get the food you need to survive tonight and tomorrow. Like they've given you enough busy work to keep you going for a couple days. Okay,
that'll work.
Does that include me?
So, Mercy, you had suggested doing something with either Bible studies or science, whatever.
Yeah.
Joke around. There is a church in town. But they do not take up on that offer.
Okay.
The church, when Cyrus brings you past it, like you're just walking around now, that because during the day your people have to be in town now, right? So they're definitely encountering the natives now. Natives may not be talking to them, but they're like, "Is this the door?" Yeah, and they walk away. They put their head down and walk away. But the church itself is not the biggest building. It is not the most glamorous building. It is not in the best repair. The church itself, there is a bell, but it's small. It probably only holds 75 to 100 people, which for a community this size, you'd think there'd at least be 2 or 3 of them, if not more. No. Cemetery, tiny, not even fenced with anything like to say this is the sacred part of the ground. It's just a cemetery out back. If these people if they're Christian adjacent or distant. They're not, this is not the focal point of the village.
Heathens.
And I scream that in ferocity.
No.
Because I learned the farking word from that primer. Heathen. Non-believer.
I wonder how long
No.
when the most recent burial was in the cemetery.
You want to look? Do you take the
Sure.
time to
You know, like sometimes you go to the cemetery and you're like, oh, 1700s, 1600s,
Mhm.
1800s, and there's like nothing newer.
Yeah.
And then obviously you go to other cemeteries where it's more modern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1795.
It's been 100 years-ish. No, 90. No. I can do math.
1865.
60-ish. 70 years.
Almost 70 years.
70.
Yeah.
70.
Yep. Since there's a named marker in the cemetery.
Which means
Steiner's kind of going, wait.
Well, it's like one of two things. Either one, they sort of abandoned Christianity because it was always sort of part of that society up there, and it was their own sort of version of Christianity, or people aren't dying.
Wow, we are a suspicious group.
Yes, we are.
Well,
there's a psychic horse outside telling us we got to be here.
Right?
Kind of duh.
You know, Christianity came late to a lot of these places.
Oh, very much so.
Historically speaking, in the history of it. So, and especially something this remote. It's just the 70 years piece of it that I'm curious about because, you know, I'm sure they die at sea, but they're not leaving even any markers, right? You know, that would be okay.
Where are the markers?
Yeah.
Let us find them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
Even down by like the water, like the docks, the pier,
like for those lost at sea, like that kind of.
There's no monument, no nothing.
Not that your people and their eyes and your shadowy glance can see.
Well, pickles. How about that?
Adelaide, they gave you. You okay with doing washing and stuff?
Yes, she can do washing, and she wants to. Depending where she is, she wants to keep an eye on people and see what the mood is.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they are not going to talk to her, but she's very good at, staying low and just keeping an eye on the other people.
Yeah, she's phenomenal, right? She's phenomenal at blending in and just not being present. Like I'm here, but not here.
Yeah, how people talk to each other and what they're doing.
Yeah, parents are very protective of their children.
Okay.
I'm not saying that they can't go out and run around and play like children, but if anybody gets near you, if someone's working, you notice that your people around the town, right? Because you see them going by with a few bricks and they're starting to do mason work, things of that nature, like to kind of, or probably putting stones back more than brick. But wherever you see your people working, if a child gets, because what do kids do? They stand there, they kind of stare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, this is not, there's no iPhones, there's no iPad, there's nothing. So children now want to interact by just watching you do something.
This is social media.
Right. And it's like
TikTok dance. The
second that they pause, for 2 heartbeats, it's come. And they just shoo them away. Like, get away from the strangers. Don't go play by yourselves. And they are hawk-like. If the kids are in a clearing between 2 of the houses, they're just kind of, the mothers just stand there and wait. They let them burn themselves out. Then they go, come in, inside. And then they push them inside and they close the door. Everything is so guarded right now.
Yeah. I want to go back when I'm done washing and look in that book we got for stories about children being taken.
So, yeah, as you got through some of them, there are definitely cautionary tales of trolls, ogres, things that just, and again, it's all about stay close to your parents.
Yeah.
Listen, don't fuck around. Get home before dark. You're small. Kids disappear with one bite. A troll can just, gobble you up in one shot. So it's that Brothers Grimm on steroids. Just
right. Okay.
Hard stuff. Yeah. Yeah. There's probably about 15 or 20 tales in there, and even the one with the children. If they read the whole version, it's the Red Riding Hood with that wasn't edited. It's the hard story. Yeah.
Yeah. Really drives the point home.
Yep.
Yeah, got it. No need to say anymore.
I have a brilliant plan.
So it's basically, would you like me to read your story before bed? No.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Well, I don't know if we're gonna have time for this episode, but starting next episode, I have a brilliant plan.
Oh, and we're gonna leave it
wonderful.
there. So we're gonna stop right now, and we're gonna pick up next time with Mercy's brilliant plan, which I always enjoy those brilliant plan things because they mean they're going to be so much fun. So I want to say thank you to all my players. Here's our list of names. You know who we are. Hopefully by now. If not, you can read the list because we leave it up there for a few seconds. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Please do that. We know that the videos, people still are enjoying the podcast stuff, so we're going to keep putting the videos out just to say we have them. But if you're listening on podcasts as well, don't forget 5-star reviews. Do anything you can. We had Cairo. We had a very loyal following. We appreciate that. And we're starting to see some of those listeners come back, and we're so thrilled and so thankful that you're willing to give us another chance to try another story. So from all of us here at the Bardic College, I want to say thank you very much. And until next time, we'll catch you later. Good night, players.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Keeper.